Hi stamping friends, Melissa Kerman here with Melissa's Crafting Treehouse. Thanks for joining me today. In this video I'll be introducing one of the 3 July-August free card kits for my free card kits program. I'll be posting 3 shorter videos instead of one long one. And at the end of this video I'll show all 3 projects, so make sure to watch to the end. So by the way, this small video segment will be the same for all 3 videos, so if you've already seen it, definitely skip ahead. So you may be asking, what is this free card kit program? Well, the intention of the free card kit program is to offer a way for people who don't live locally and can't attend my events, a way to make some of the fun projects I offer to my local customers and learn new paper crafting techniques with us. These are in fact the projects that we made for my club events in July. I have 3 clubs and they really enjoyed them, so I hope you do too. So there are program details for the card kit program on my events page. I hope you'll jump on over there and check it all out and let me know if you have questions. There is a link in the video description below. So here's the project we're going to work on now, and this is the end result. And we're using a stamp set and die bundle, one called Window Shopping. That's the stamp set. We're using the Thinking of You from the stamp set. And then this is the set of dies. And it's intended to make a box. This is an example of a box that I made. You can find lots of these on Pinterest, but mine uses the Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper in the background on all the 6 sides, and the stitched shapes framelits. You can see those on the side. Anyway, this is super pretty. Love this little box. But I wanted to show the versatility of this stamp set and framelits by doing a card with it instead. So these are the materials you'll get if you're getting a card kit. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the die cutting first. So when you do this, you're going to use the precision base plate with your Big Shot and some of the other layering. But essentially, I'm not going to do the Big Shot stuff in front of you. You're going to position this here so it's just a little bit from the top. And when you do the cutting out, you'll end up with this piece right here. So it doesn't cut out the actual 6-sided shape there. But you do need to use the precision base plate because there's so much detail on this die that otherwise some of the pieces don't come out. And I usually run it through 3 times or so, back and forth, to make sure that it really does cut. So if you kind of pretend that this one has actually been through the Big Shot, and then afterwards you're going to rake it over like this, and that'll help the little pieces come out, so it'll look like that. You might have to push out some of the pieces in what you get in your kit, if you're getting a kit. So this is what you're going to get in the mail. So this is also die cut. This is just sort of regular layering. That's also one of the dies that's in the set. And the die cut set is actually called the Window Box Thinlits dies, so just for your information. So I have cut out these pieces, so let's focus on this background piece. So we're going to do a watercolor wash again. Again, one of my favorite things to do. Let's see, so we're going to start with our aqua painter, and I put little drops of ink of each of the colors we're using. And for this example, we're actually using Cherry Cobbler, Calypso Coral, and the Daffodil Delight. In the example you see here, I actually used pumpkin pie in the center. And I'm doing this for some coordination reasons with some of the ribbon I'm using later. So for the watercolor wash, I'm going to start by spraying my piece of paper so that it's wet. And it is a piece of watercolor paper. And then I'm just going to move the water around to make sure that it is fully covered. If it's not fully wet, what will happen is the color gets stuck on the paper, and it sort of creates this blotch of color that doesn't blend, and it's not nearly as pretty as if it blends. So I'm going to start with my lightest color, my Daffodil Delight. Now I'm doing bands of color. That's what I've done on all the ones I've done for this card, but you don't have to do bands. You can do something random or anything you want. Next I'm coming in with my Calypso Coral, and you can just see how it moves so nicely on the paper. and then the cherry cobbler at the top. So it's really as simple as that. Pretty cool, huh? I like it. All right, so that's your watercolor wash, and now you're going to take that piece of watercolor paper. You want it to be dry, so you can dry it with your heat tool if you want, and then you will attach it to the back side of this piece. So this is an example of what your back side is going to look like when you're done with the dimensionals around the side. Now what I have done to make sure that my watercolor paper is really attached fully to that detailed image is I've taken my multi-purpose glue, this glue, with a sponge dauber, and take a piece of scratch paper on your work surface, and I'm just going to dab that in the glue and then dab it all over the back side of this. And then when I take my piece that has dried, the watercolor wash, and attach it to it, it will be completely on there without any gaps. You can see that in the one that I have done. Now you'll also notice I have a little bit of space here at the bottom that doesn't have the watercolor paper behind it, and I'm not worried about that because I'm going to be covering my the bottom with the pot, if you will. So that way you can position your watercolor paper to show whatever colors you want to see. So again, there's the back side with the dimensionals, and so really just a few other steps on this. For the pot, I have given you a piece of this lovely ribbon, either the cherry cobbler or the daffodil delight. You can actually with this ribbon use the side that has the X pattern or the side that has the straight lines. So I really like the X pattern. So this just kind of shows you how it's attached on the back side. And I've used glue dots to attach that ribbon. So if you're doing it, you're just going to line it up like that, and you'll put a glue dot right here and right there, and then you just kind of fold it over. Now, I've actually beveled the edges of the ribbon so that when I attach it, it won't show above. This piece is a little bit longer than it should be. So anyway, you see how you have to make sure it doesn't come above. All right, so this is the completed one, and you'll just put a glue dot on the back side of this bow, and if you get a kit, I have pre-done the bow for you. I've actually done what I like to call an air bow, and just attach it right onto there. And then you will assemble your card, and this goes on your folded card body. And you are all set. So there we go. I want to show you one other quick thing before we part. And that is when I was playing around with this, as I was looking at this image, I sort of saw what looked like a poinsettia to me. See that in the center? So I decided to play around. So, you know, here's my one side, and then I thought, let's do it in the green and red and see if I can make it look like a poinsettia. So this is what I came up with. I thought, wow, that could be a pretty cool Christmas card. On the black, maybe add a little bit of gold in there, put a word on the sentiment on the bottom. Anyway, my little tidbit, sort of fun. So there's your final result. Here are all three projects for the July and August card kits, the finished projects. I hope you like them all. They were really fun to create, and my groups really liked them. And just as a reminder, you have until August 31st at 9 p.m. to place your order to get these kits. And another quick little reminder, when you do set up your online account through Stampin' Up, you have to make sure to make the selection that allows me to contact you. Otherwise, you show up as anonymous, so I never have a name or an address. So just make sure I can contact you. Otherwise, there's no way for me to mail the kits to you. So I hope you've enjoyed the videos, and thanks so much for spending some time with me today. Have a great day. Happy crafting. Bye.